We've been having a real renaissance of Stephen Sondheim on Broadway. Well, actually more of a revival, maybe not renaissance. And the latest is a really fine revival of Sunday in the Park with George. That's a 1984 show that he made with James Lapine, and it originally starred Mandy Patinkin and Bernadette Peters. It dealt with the French artist Georges Seurat, who was working on his painting A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of La Grande Jatte. The play basically, if you don't know the work, it takes place in two periods. First, in 1884, as George is making his painting and working with his model, Dot, who happens to be his lover as well. Now, Act Two takes place about 100 years later as George's great-grandson, also named George, is a modern-day artist living in New York, creating these sort of multimedia installation pieces, which are stylish but kind of empty and hollow. These two time periods come together at the end of the play as George, the modern-day George, is sort of confronted by the then 1884 Dot, and a lot of themes of life, love, art, how to relate to the world are sort of hashed out. This revival was directed by a very young English director named Sam Buntrock, who uses digital animation in the production. Elements from the Seurat painting come to life before your eyes. You see digital animation go from a blank canvas to charcoal sketches to the fully painted images that you see in the final painting. It's really, witty and funny and sad and moving and beautiful. This production has a mostly American cast, but the two leads, George and Dot, are played by Daniel Evans and Jenna Russell originally. They both presented it in London originally on the West End, and they are quite good. So you might have seen the original production of Sunday in the Park with George back in '84 on Broadway or in the PBS taping of the show, but it's pointless to sort of compare them side by side. This is a totally new, conceptualized version of this material. I think, even if you're going to it having seen the show or going to it with fresh eyes, I think the show should be a revelation.
To order your own weekly copy of Time Out New York magazine for only $19.97 a year, call 1-866-929-1112 and always stay one step ahead.